Hi everybody, this is All Things Cheryl. This is my first video of 2020. And this is what I have to say. This is how we're going to start out the new decade, talking about and going in on children. And the person basically who I am basically talking about is Blue Ivy. On Wednesday, Blue Ivy basically was hanging out with her famous mother, famous father, getting ready to, or bringing in the new year. And the internet basically went wild. The internet basically went crazy. And I'm saying to myself, what's going on? What's it? Why is everybody going crazy and going wild? And here's the deal. Blue had a new look for the 2020, the new decade, the new year. Beyonce decided that she wanted to give Blue definitely a new look and, looking fly, looking cute. So she decided that she wanted to straighten and bring out Blue's curls. So in other words, she straightened Blue's hair and pictures basically went up on Instagram, from what I understand, from what I have read thus far, went up on Instagram. And basically how they got up on Instagram, Megan Stallion, I guess Megan is a up-and-coming artist. And Megan Stallion is also a beehiver. And she wanted to meet Beyonce. So meeting Beyonce was, just like any ordinary fan. She was excited due to the fact that she finally got a chance to meet Beyonce, and her, Beyonce, and Blue Ivy basically, like took pictures, and I believe it was Megan Stallion, or it could have been Beyonce, we don't even know. But they basically posted the pictures on the internet. And you talking about something that went viral, and it still is going viral, and people are still talking about the fact that Blue had this beautiful, beautiful, long hair, and she has beautiful curls anyway, and she had a different look. And a different look was just a 7-year-old child whose mother decided to straighten her hair for the New Year's. But everybody went crazy due to the fact that Blue didn't have her curly locks. She had straight hair. Now, all of a sudden, we have two journalists, right? And I want to make sure that I get this right because I took my notes. Well, I took some notes, and I read some articles and stuff that was posted. And I took my notes. We have two journalists, right? We have one from Vanity Fair, and the other one we have from Harper's magazine. Now, one was white and one was black. Now, I guess the reason why everybody is, especially the women's community, the black women's community, is really up in rage, is that they're up in rage is that the male, I don't know whether, the male journalist, I think coming from Harper's, chimed in and had something negative to say about Blue and the fact that Blue can't help it. She has a famous mother and she has a famous father. And we know who that famous mother and we know who that famous father is. We're talking about Jay-Z and Beyonce. And granted, There are some people who don't like Beyonce, and there are some people who don't like Jay-Z. That's cool. But hands off when it comes to children. Hands off. And the reason why I said children are not on the chopping block. They do not need to be on the chopping block. And I don't know why people like to come for families and their children. This was unnecessary. Now, the reason why I'm doing the video is that I'm disgusted with Vanity Fair, and I'm disgusted with Harper's magazine, that they even allowed for these two people to say the things that they did, but they came back later on and they basically apologized, did two backpedaling, apologizing for what they say. And personally, I don't think they really, really meant it. And the only reason why they apologized was the fact that their jobs was basically on the line. And personally, I think when you come after children and you work for, you should lose your job. That's just my opinion. You should lose your job. And so, of course, they got on their social media and they posted these two fake letters. Now, I think I'm appalled to the Harper's magazine. The fact that this man and this woman basically, and I'm not going to be showing, like some people like to show the receipts, show what they said, the conversation they traded amongst each other, and what they basically said about a child, about Blue Ivy. For some reason, I don't know why, everybody has been, not everybody, but those trolls who basically like to get behind their computers and start talking mad trash, start talking negative about a child that has nothing to do with your insecurity, your white supremacists, your male races amongst yourself. It had nothing to do with it. But you decided to take to social media, and I'm talking basically about Vanity Fair and Harper's. These two people, male and female, one white and one black, black male and white female, decide to take to your social media and give your opinion. Personally, you should have kept that opinion to basically yourself, because what you did is you showed your true colors. You showed the type of person that you really are. You showed you just showed your colors. Racism, bottom line. Maybe some people didn't look at it like racism. Basically, I look at it as racism. But I also look at this guy who had the audacity. And see, this is where he was basically a coward. He was a coward, and he chimed in on a child. Only a coward person would basically do something like that. And he picked a child because he knew not to come for Beyonce. He knew not to come for Beyonce, but he came for Beyonce's child. And that's just as worse. That's just as worse. And this guy is basically a coward. He's a coward. He has he has something that's going on up in his brains. I don't know what it is, but for you to come at a child, and then for you to have a conversation with a white woman. Now you carried on this conversation, from what I can see. Y'all tweeted back and forth about maybe twice from the white woman and twice from the black guy. So you guys had a very interesting conversation about a child who is 7 years old, who is about to turn 8 in another week, and you decided to do that. You, my man, is a coward, okay? You are a coward. Now, for some reason, there's always been this love-hate, especially when it comes to blue, and especially when it comes to the way basically blues hairstyles is concerned. Now, a lot of people says that when babies are born, you have some babies who will take after the mother, then you have some babies who will take after the father. In my opinion, this is my opinion, Blue Ivy has both of her parents' features. A lot of people may tend to disagree with me, but in my opinion, she has both of her mother's and her father's features. Now, all I need to say is that this guy, he's a coward. And I'm saying to myself, so this is how we're starting out with the 2020, making racist and derogatory statements about children and women. So this is how we're doing it. This is very sad. And here we have a president who basically have started a war. And you know that if there is a war going on, you cannot unseat a president. You cannot unseat a president if a war is basically going on. Now, if you heard that statement, or if you heard the breaking news, he came through and talked about exactly what was going on, and that they killed one of the high-ranking leaders in Iran. And he stated that he was not trying to start a war. But that's exactly how he was trying to do, is to start a war. It's because we know that this man, number 45, has been impeached. He has been impeached. He's not gone to trial, but he has been impeached. Now, the only way to basically stop this impeachment and basically end the track is if there is a State of the Union, and if we are basically preparing and somewhat, we're getting ready to perhaps go to war. And if we go to war, we cannot, this man, this president, cannot be unseated. He cannot. And he knew that. And the only way to basically stop this was to start a war. And to get the, in my opinion, stay focused and stay alert. I'm hoping that this does not happen, because I remember 9/11, and that was not a pretty sight. And we don't know what the capabilities, and I believe they are ready, and right now they are in mourning. But when they get ready to come out of that mourning, you best believe there is going to be some retaliation. It's because they have stated that they will be coming for. They will be coming to for revenge. Look, this is All Things Cheryl, and this is Cheryl. And basically, I did two things that I talked about. was Blue Ivy, and the fact that we have trolls, grown trolls, coming after a 7-year-old girl, and that 7-year-old girl was Blue Ivy. Now, it was Megan Stallion who basically posted the pictures of Blue Ivy, her, and Beyonce, basically enjoying themselves. And then we have a president who says that he is not trying to start a war, and that was not his intentions, but in reality, that was his intentions. Uh, my first video for 2020. Click subscribe and become a subscriber. Like the video, and if you have any commentaries to say, put it down in the comments. How do you feel about the way Trump has went about starting or begin to start a war to stop this impeachment process? And how do you feel about two grown people coming for a 7-year-old young girl who's about to be turning 8? Till the next time, peace and love, and remember that love is for everyone.